Oh man, I love mongoose. I say this again and again. Mongoose is just, I think, mung bean in English, and they eat that with rice, and sometimes they have dried fish. And at first, when I got to the Philippines, I hated dry fish, but I learned to love it because of the association it had. Like, I remember eating mongoose and buad, which is dried fish, and rice, just sitting cross-legged on a bamboo home, and I just loved it. I was like, this is the mission. This is life. This is what we should be experiencing, and so I learned to love that. So I love mongoose, buad, lumpia, adobo, pancit. Like, there's a restaurant in the Philippines called Mang Inasal, and every single missionary will agree with me in saying that that is the bomb. It is so good. It's just finger licking good. It's better than KFC, you know? All you get is a plate of rice and like a chicken leg, and that's it. And you put some, like, I don't know, vinegar and I don't know. You just put some sauces on it, and it's amazing. It just fills you right up. Hits the spot every time. So I wish they would bring Mang Inasal to America, but that hasn't happened yet. So that's one of my favorite restaurants in the Philippines. Mango float. That was a dessert in the Philippines. They got like graham crackers and then mangoes and then like cream and sweetened condensed milk. And then they layer it like lasagna, but it's all sweet. And then they stick it in the freezer, and it's like a cake of mangoes and graham crackers. It's so good. So good. So yeah, that's probably my favorite dessert in the Philippines.
So the Philippines, everyone, you'll hear you eat a lot of rice. You can get by for a little bit, off some bread. They have a lot of bread shops and other little snacks, but eventually you're probably going to be converted to rice. I was converted pretty quick with my Filipino companions. So chances are you'll have rice, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, just white rice. And then with the rice, you kind of have as a missionary, it's kind of whatever you can find a lot of times. You have little cans of like canned beef, corned beef, or like a lot of my Filipino companions, they love like sardines and things like that. And you just kind of stick it on the rice, and you learn to just love everything with rice. Normally, if people are feeding you, it's kind of some sort of meat in sauce on top of rice. So you don't have a lot of beef. It's mostly chicken and pork. Sometimes you don't really know what the meat is, but it tastes wonderful, and you just kind of eat it. You'll go on the streets, and you'll have like these street foods, and you kind of have to buy one, and you just kind of smell it, look at it, like, that seems good, and you put it on there and you eat it. So honestly, it's funny because people ask, what did I eat? And I say, half the time I don't really know. It tasted good, but I don't know. I don't even know what I was eating. But some fun things. People usually talk about balut, which is the little unfertilized duck egg you crack open and drink the embryonic juices and then eat the little chick. I had that. Some people won't eat it. You don't have to if you don't want to. Honestly, it's just a lot of rice. And then you'll have a lot of vegetables too with the rice. And actually, I should mention my favorite food in the Philippines was the fruit. So Cebu is known for its mangoes. That's where the Costco, you get the little dried mangoes. Those all come from Cebu. So that's our mission, yeah. But great mangoes, bananas everywhere. They just have random fruits that you've never tried before in the States that you'll love. Something called rambutan. It's like a little red ball, and it has little spikes on it. They're not it's hard to explain until you see it, but it's just the sweetest fruit. I love it. There's a lot of random fruits there, but they're good. I miss the fruits of the Philippines there. It's probably my favorite part of the food there was all the fruit. Drinks, they drink a lot of soda. So you'll have kind of Coke and other types of soft drinks. A lot more like purified, clean drinking water is becoming more available to a lot of people. So a lot of people have that. Or they'll just drink the tap water, whatever they have. They also like juices. So they'll get water and then they'll buy these little packets. They call it it says Tang on it. And they basically just dump that in, and it's like a little orange juice or like some fruity juice. So you have a lot of that too. Nothing too like weird or crazy, like weird teas or anything. It's just pretty straightforward, but a lot of soda.
So Filipinos, they love everything with rice, first of all. You just have to know that. So every dish, every meal has rice with it. And then most of the foods, they're all called ulam, which means it's just whatever you put on top of rice. That's ulam. And so they had adobo, sinigang, bicol express, caldereta, halo halo. That's an ice cream dish. That is awesome. But your MTC teachers will probably tell you more about that. Or you can just ask them. It's so good. Let's see. The best thing I ever ate in the Philippines. Oh, and they have lumpia. Those are really good. I think my favorite food is probably adobo. Most Americans will say that simply because it's just soy sauce and vinegar with chicken, or it could be pork and like potatoes, and it's just, oh, it's so good. It's really flavorful. You can have it sweet, spicy, salty. It's a very simple dish, but it's really yummy. And the craziest thing I ever had. So there are a lot of dishes I wouldn't even touch at all. But before going on my mission, everyone told me about balut. My mom actually made me swear that I wasn't going to eat it. How do I explain balut? It's basically an egg. It's a duck egg, but it's fertilized. So it's like a baby duck inside of an egg. And I remember, the first time I ate it, it was crazy. I won't tell the story because it's super long. But basically, we're at a member's house, and the ward missionary said, "Sister Wilson, do you want to try balut today?" Because the member, they sold balut as a living. And I was like, no, I don't think so. I don't think they have it here. And then the member's like, "Yes, we do. We have a whole bunch. We'll just boil it up right now, and it'll be ready after the lesson." I was like, oh, crud. So I said, okay, fine. So me and my companions had balut, and that was definitely the craziest thing I ever had. Weirdest tasting, oh my goodness, crazy experience. But I did it, and now I can say I did it. My mom was really mad when she found out, but it was a good experience, and I suggest you at least try it, because if you go to the Philippines, you just have to try it.
Filipino food is rice. They love rice. They eat rice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks, and all day, every day. They just love their rice. If it doesn't have rice in it, it's not a meal to them. They think it's just like a snack or whatever. And so I never really got into the eating the rice for breakfast kind of thing, but I would eat it for lunch. Their food is so good. I actually gained weight in the mission because I just loved the food so much, but I didn't even care because it was so good. They have what's called ulam, which is just whatever you eat with the rice. So it could be vegetables, it could be meat, it could be a combination of the two, it could be fish, but you always have your rice and you always have your ulam. And they also have very different kinds of snacks, but they have what are called tindahans, which are just everywhere. So when you're out proselyting, you can never get hungry because there's literally like this little tindahan. It's like a little shop on almost every corner. And so you can stop and buy snacks for like 5 pesos, 10 pesos, which is really cheap. So there's like a ton of different kinds of cookies and candies and crackers to try, and chips. And the markets, oh my goodness, on P days we would go to these open air markets that they have in every single town. And you can buy fresh fruits and vegetables for really cheap. They have really good mangoes and all different kinds of fruits that they don't have here in America that are just incredible. So it's possible to eat healthy if you're trying, and if you like plan ahead and buy your fruits and vegetables on P days. But you can pretty much find like any kind of healthy food that you're looking for. They don't have a lot of American foods, but you can find food that you like. They have a lot of variety. So one of my favorite foods there was adobo, which they make with chicken or sometimes with duck or beef. And it's it's meat that's been marinated in soy sauce and vinegar, which sounds kind of weird, but it's so good. And then they cook it all up, and it's just really tender and really flavorful, and you eat it with the rice. I also really like pan de sal, which is hot rolls that you can buy from these little bakeries on the street. So sometimes we would stop at night on our way home and buy those hot rolls that are just fresh from the oven, and those are always like such a treat at the end of the day.
They do have quite a lot of crazy food. Some of it I tried, some of it my companions tried. I had a companion who tried turtle, a companion who tried cobra or chicken feet. I had carabao. It wasn't my favorite. It was kind of just like kind of greasy and, I don't know, grizzly, just like not a meat that I would want to eat necessarily. What I really loved was the seafood, just like the fish. In Sorsogon they have kuao, which is kind of a fish they only have there, and would fry it up. It's a red fish with really big eyes. I remember we were we were at one investigator's house in Masbate, and we were eating fish, just like kind of like a medium-sized fish, kind of smaller. So we ate, well, you know, we're just eating with our hands, eating the rice and the fish, so like picking off the meat, and so all that was left is like the head, and then like the spinal bone and like the tail. And then she's like, eat the head, it's so good, it's crunchy. It's like, okay. My companion just went for it because she's Samoan. She's like, all right. It's like, okay, like try it. It was actually pretty good. It was crunchy, I don't know, just tasted, I guess, like a fish head. That was good. We also had shrimp, and that same companion, we were eating the shrimp. And I had one Filipino companion, she cooked very well. And I remember she would like remove the shell from the shrimp. But this family, they served us pancit, like the noodles with the meat and the whatever, the lettuce, carrots. And there's the shrimp in there, but it still had the shell on. So I was just kind of saving that for like later with the shell still on. My companion was eating the shrimp, like all of it, the shell, the head, everything. I was like, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to eat that. And she's like, no, I think you are. I'm like, okay, well, she's from like Polynesian country. I guess she knows. But then we asked them, and they're like, oh no, sisters, don't eat that part. I hadn't eaten any of the shells. I'd started peeling them off. But then we heard like the wife talking to her husband, speaking really fast in Masbateña, so we would understand like, why didn't you tell them they're not supposed to eat that? But I guess he probably didn't notice. We were eating in the dark by candlelight, because it was after 6, so it was pretty funny.
Filipinos don't have much money, so they learn to make do with what they have, and sometimes as a missionary you're gonna eat things that you're not used to. I was a picky eater before my mission. I'm probably less picky now. Not to scare you, but they don't have much over there, so they use the whole chicken, even the feet. I didn't even know you could eat the feet, but you can eat the feet. You just chip off the yellow stuff, and there's meat under there. There's not much meat, but there's meat. One of my companions, that was her favorite food. So she'd buy like a bag of chicken feet, and I'd just like eat a sandwich. And the whole time I was eating my sandwich, she'd be across the table going, masarap! Like, she likes squid too. There's lots of seafood over there, so be prepared to eat fish. They like fish. They're an island. Fish is cheap. Fish is easy. Tilapia especially, it's really fresh. I remember the first time my trainer went to go and cook some fish, we went to the market and all the tilapia were still on the table breathing. It's like flopping around. And the woman, my companion, ordered some of the fish, and the woman started to slice them open, and halfway through pulling its guts out, it tries to jump away. And she just like, she'd obviously done it before because she was so pro and like just finished it off. And as we were walking home, my companion kept looking behind her, and then she just suddenly says, oh, and I'm like, what? I thought a dog was sniffing the bag, but it's just the fish muscles twitching around. I was like, oh, that's a bit too fresh. That's really fresh. I really liked Adobo, and I have such a sweet tooth. I'm terrible. Even now, I eat like a dessert every day. I don't need it, but I do. And in the Philippines, I loved getting halo-halos because it's hot and they're delicious. It's just a nice mix. You said that you went to the Philippines, so you know what it is. But for the people who are about to go, here's what a halo-halo is. It's delicious. It's some ice, some fruit. Depends on the region. Different regions have different recipes. In Manila, they have a very traditional ube halo-halo. Ube is a kind of root crop. It looks like a potato, but it's sweet and tasty, like for desserts, and it's purple. So they put some ube jam and some ube ice cream sometimes. A couple of different fruits like jackfruit and mango, and usually some nata de coco. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like Jell-O made with coconut milk. It's really thick and chewy, but it's tasty. And palm fruit. I love putting palm fruit in mine. They'll often put corn and beans in it too, because they think those are delicious in desserts for some reason, but I usually didn't put it in mine. But if you tell someone to leave it out, they'll laugh at you and tease you, because, I mean, like, you always put corn and beans in it, why would you not? And so they tease the Americans if you'd, like, ask to leave something out of your food. Filipinos are really nice though. They just like to joke around a lot. That's their favorite phrase, is joke lang, it's just a joke. They like telling jokes. They're such a smiley, happy people. And they love to joke around. That's another nice thing about the Philippines is fruits and vegetables are really cheap. And they taste so good. Mangoes, I miss the mangoes. And the Filipinos, like, I started cutting it the way my mom did, just slicing all the skin off first and then cutting strips of it off at a time. And all the Filipinos were like, no, that's not how you cut a mango. You cut it like this. And they showed me how to cut it. And do it the Filipino way, you get less sticky. They know what they're doing, trust me. There's lots and lots of fruits and vegetables that you've never seen before. You're going to stare at the fruit and vegetable stand and you're like, what the freak is this? Filipinos don't know what peaches are. You probably don't know what langka is. And there's lots, langka is this fruit, it's like this big. It's green and it's spiky and you're like, that looks like it came out of a video game. Lots of the fruits too, like dragon fruit, it's pink with green spikes on it. And you're like, this looks like it came out of a video game. It doesn't look like real fruit. But you cut it open, sure enough, it's real fruit. And it tastes really good. My favorite was the langka. Members happened to buy like this giant half of a langka fruit. You always get it in a half or a fourth. A whole langka fruit is way too much for anybody. And you just eat it with your hands. It's got giant seeds that they'll use in cooking. I don't like the seeds in the cooking, but I love the fruit. I love to eat it, and I love to put it in my halo-halos. I was so excited when I went to an Asian store and found canned langka. I'm like, it's not as good as a fresh one, but it's better than nothing.
You will eat rice for just about every meal. Rice is wonderful. You will grow to love it because you'll have it all the time. What people will do is they'll make what's called kanin. That's the word for cooked rice. You have your kanin, and then on top of it you have your ulam. And ulam is just the word for whatever's on top of your rice that you're going to eat. You know, ulam could be soy sauce, which is what some people eat if they don't have the resources to afford anything else to put on top of it. You'll eat a lot of rice. In the morning, some people will eat something called pandesal, which is it's kind of like just a roll, like a breakfast roll with little dusty breadcrumbs on it, and it tastes great and everybody loves it. And so you'll be sleeping and then you'll hear some guy walking out of the street and he'll be going, pandesal! And that means that someone is selling pandesal and you should go buy it. It's great. And then So yeah, that's about the options. I remember there was a weird phase in my mission where we had a supermarket, and so I thought I'd go out on a limb and buy some milk and some cereal, and it was not the same. So just know that if you're a cereal eater, just eat the local stuff. It's better. And then for tanghalian, for lunch, they would eat, whatever it was. It was rice and ulam. Some regional places that are popular to eat at are some restaurants there's one called Mang Inasal, and Mang Inasal is popular among missionaries particularly because you can have unlimited rice. So you get your chicken and then you get your rice, and it's like this contest for the missionaries to see how many cups of rice you can eat with it. I know a kid who I think had like I want to say it was like 23 cups of rice. They asked him to leave. So that's a popular place. There's a place called Jollibee, which you don't see a lot of, but it's kind of an equivalent to like a Wendy's or a McDonald's. So they have their burgers and stuff like that, but they will always serve their burgers with rice. They have McDonald's, which they call McDo, and at McDo, they'll sell, again, burgers and stuff like that, but instead of fries, they will come with a cup of rice. So everything comes with rice. The restaurants aren't quite the same. Instead of a McDonald's where like there's somebody in the corner sweeping up stuff, like you can't throw your own stuff away because someone will run to you and grab their tray. Like that's their job. So it's like a high-end kind of like McDonald's posh restaurant kind of a thing, you know? So that's fun. They have these little places where you can just buy some ulam and some kanin, some rice and stuff, and those are always really good. Jackfruit tastes really good when it's cooked. That's a great thing. Something else that's unique to the Philippines is a fruit called Durian. They're actually kind of a scary fruit. They like grow up in these trees like giant maces, and if they fall on your head, they could kill you. I'm not even joking. So they're like these giant things. You crack them open and they smell really bad. The phrase is that they smell like hell, but they taste like heaven. Okay, so like, so you open them up. When I tasted it, it's an acquired taste. It tastes like soapy onions the first time you try it, and then it grows on you, and it's delicious. Something else that is a regional food that I have grown to love and miss very much is buko juice is what they call it, but it's coconut juice. They get it when it's still green. It's called a nyog, and then they chop off the top, and they have like this little kind of like sack where all of the coconut meat is, but when it's still green, it's soft, and so the flesh is like really yummy and sweet. Again, it's an acquired taste. The first time that I tasted it, I was like, this does not taste like coconut juice, because the coconut juice that we drink in the United States is very sweet and has lots of sugar added. But if you have enough of it, it's like the best thing. One other thing that I really miss, I miss it so much, it's so good, is it's called buko de pandan, and it's like or buko pandan, and it's like pandan is this little leaf that is used more for smell than for flavor, but when they make this extract out of it, it's kind of like this green stuff, and it's addictive. It's so good. It's so good. So anytime that I saw someone with buko pandan, I would go and get it because it's like the best thing in the world. They have really, really, really good fruit. If you've grown up maybe like in the Pacific islands or stuff like that, then you may be familiar with some of the different species of banana, but if you've grown up on the mainland, usually you only deal with one kind of banana. Let me assure you, there's so many different kinds of bananas, and the smaller they are, the sweeter they are. They taste amazing. They're so good. The pineapple there is beyond anything you've ever tasted. I don't care if you grew up in Hawaii. It is so good and so fresh and so sweet, and they'll put a little bit of salt on it to kind of enhance the flavor, and it literally tastes like candy. In fact, if you have like Laffy Taffies in the United States, that really, really sweet banana flavor is not based off of the bananas that we eat in the United States. It's based off of the species in the Philippines. So like that flavor that you get that's like super sweet, that's what you're eating in the Philippines. Is so good. So good. They've got like rambutan, which is, I think they have it in Hawaii as well, but it's like this fluffy red fruit, and you cut it open and you eat it, and it's yummy. I don't know. It's really good. You'll eat, probably you'll eat some sardinas, which are sardines in a can, open them up, put them on your rice, and you eat it. It's great. One other thing that's important, I remember one time I was companions with another American, and we decided that we wanted to try, and I think we were companions like a year in, and it had been a year for both of us, okay? So we decided that to commemorate our 1 year, we were going to make an American meal and have like sandwiches and salads. No rice, you know? And And when the Filipinos saw that we weren't cooking our vegetables, they called us goats. So it's weird not to eat vegetables unless they're cooked. Just know that. Cook your vegetables and then people won't call you a goat. You will eat every part of the chicken, every part. You will eat the feet, you'll eat the neck, you'll eat the head, you'll eat every part of the fish, you'll eat the brains of the fish, they're very conservative, and it's great. You'll eat the intestines, those are actually really yummy, as long as you make sure that they're clean and good. They sell them out in the open market, so it's great.
Everything there is rice. Everything like they serve because it grows in abundance and they can make it easily and everything. So like you'll have, for Filipinos, probably 80 to 90% of their meal is rice, and then they have what they call ulam, which is basically just anything that goes with rice. So their primary ingredients for everything is like vinegar and soy sauce and onions and garlic. And with that, they'll make just about everything. They'll do pork that way, and with different variations. They have a thing called adobo, which is like probably the like national food of the Philippines. They can make it in pork or chicken, or they make it with eggs, or they make it just with about anything else too. And so that is really good because it's just got a really good taste to it. It's not sweet like barbecued, but it's got a good flavor to it. Then they'll have like, they're really good at cooking vegetables in a appetizing way. Before my mission, I used to like hate vegetables. Like every other little kid, oh, please don't make me eat vegetables. But when you get there, they're really good at cooking it. They also have a couple of soup dishes that they'll still serve with rice. So it'll be like a lot of watery soup, and usually like chicken and maybe like some leafy greens. And then they'll put like bananas in there because those grow in abundance. And then they'll pour it all over rice, and it'll kind of break up the rice and make it kind of a soupy, ricey. And it's really, really good. So just basically chicken and pork are their substance for meat, and then very rarely do they eat cow. It's very, very hard to find steak or anything like that over there. But with the chicken and the pork, you don't need it. Eggs are a big part of their meal, and then they have a lot of fruits and vegetables. Like you'll see mango trees growing in the middle of the street, and you'll be like, oh man, some mango would be good. And some little Filipino kid will run up the tree for you, grab some mangoes and pull them down and give them to you and be like, oh, here, we got thousands, like go for it. And so that's always nice. You get free food everywhere you go. Like just because you'll be like literally like walking down the street and look, oh, there's a banana tree, and like the old man owning it will be like, you want some bananas? They're free. They're just growing here. I can't eat them all before they go bad. So it's really, really cool because they're really open with that. They also have a lot of juice. Because their water is not cool and it's not like crystal or anything. It's not like super. They have a lot of juices, so they'll have like tang, and tang doesn't just come like here in America. It's only orange flavor, right? Well, there it's not. They've got like, it's like their Kool-Aid basically. They've got grape and apple and cherry and all kinds of different flavors. So you'll drink a lot of that. They also have like a lot of chocolate milks and stuff like that they mix in with their water.
In the Philippines, the staple food there is rice. Filipinos love to eat rice 3 times a day, and going a day without rice would just be terrible. And so yeah, we eat rice a lot, and with the rice, there's always some dish on the side that you eat with the rice. It's usually got meat in it or vegetables or both. And, most of the food is really, really good. Like, I didn't have a problem adjusting to the food very much at all. I think, oh yeah, they like seafood. I ate a lot of fish and shrimp. And I think one of my favorite things that I ate on my mission was lumpia. It's kind of like an egg roll, but the wrapper is a lot thinner and a lot crispier, I guess. And it's just super, super good. And I really also like their chicken curry. They make it with coconut milk, and it's super yummy. And they also have this dessert called halo halo, and what they do is it's kind of like a snow cone that goes in a cup, but instead of just pouring flavor on top, they put in they can put in like kidney beans, or maybe it's pinto beans. I'm not sure what kind of beans, but they put in beans sometimes. They put in little chopped up pieces of fruit like papaya maybe, and bananas, and little gelatin balls, and like sometimes tapioca balls maybe. And then they put in this stuff called ube. It's kind of like a purple sweet potato, and when they sweeten it up with sugar, it's really, really yummy. And then usually a lot of times they'll put in ice cream, and that was super good. And yeah, most of the food is not very hard to adjust to for a lot of missionaries. Some missionaries had a hard time. I know some of the Americans, you know, they did have a hard time adjusting to eating rice all the time, but it's just really yummy. They put onions and garlic in basically everything. But yeah, it's super tasty.
I kind of went into it with the idea that this is normal for them, so I need to accept this. I can't be expecting or hoping it will be like America and what I'm used to. And before I went on my mission, I never really liked eating fish. So it was funny because my first 2 days on the mission, I had fish both days. You kind of get used to it pretty quick. It's really different because at least where I served, and most of the time when I ate fish, they don't even really skin it or anything. So you have like the scales on it is just fried. And you get to pick it apart and take all the meat out away from the bones and eat it. And the meat is actually really good. I like eating fish now. I don't like the scales as much, but I like eating fish now. One thing that you will kind of learn to understand is at first the food might taste a little different to you. That's natural because they use different ingredients, different ways of cooking and stuff than what we're used to, like I was saying. But you do get used to it and you learn to love it. Something that happened to me was towards the end of my mission, I was like comparing at the end American food and Filipino food, and I was like, they both taste good, but it's like a different kind of good. Like in America, I'll eat cake or lasagna or something like that because it tastes delicious and I want to eat it. But in the Philippines, it's like, I'm going to have some lumpia right now because that sounds good. So it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but you might find yourself thinking the same thing by the end of your mission. A couple of my favorite Filipino foods would definitely be lumpia. It's basically like a Filipino version of an egg roll. They wrap it up in whatever kind of wrap it is, and usually it's fried. There's like vegetarian ones, pork, beef. Sometimes they have chicken, just depends on the person. Another thing that I love to eat was bola bola, which is actually just a meatball. Sometimes it has sauce, sometimes it doesn't. But I loved eating those because I could stretch it out with my rice. So one thing that you're going to have to learn to love is rice, because it's like the staple of the Philippines. And a lot of the time, if you speak to someone who's completely Filipino, they grew up there, they don't really have very many, if any, outside influences in their lives, they believe that if you don't eat rice with every meal, you're going to get a stomachache and you're going to get sick. It's like part of their culture. You have rice with everything. Unless it's a snack. Then it's kind of depends on what the snack is. But every meal must have rice. So what I kind of learned to do, because a lot of the times, in my areas at least, we ate out. There were times whenever we didn't have meal appointments, especially for every meal, like lunch or whatever. You go to a carinderia, and I would always try to find the cheapest food I could. So rice can be kind of expensive, depends on where you go. When I was there, it varied between 5 and 7 pesos, which definitely is not that bad, but you can't think about it like American money because it's not. So it's funny because like Filipinos would have these big meals at the calendaria or whatever for like 30, 40 or something like that pesos, and I could fill myself up completely off of like 20 or less pesos if I needed to. With a lot of rice and whatever other thing I can get with the rice for the rest of the money that it cost. A couple other favorite things. Shomai is delicious. It is like the best. You're gonna find hopefully places called I Heart Shomai, and you need to go to them. That is probably the food I miss the most, is shomai. They have this delicious sauce that you dip it in, and it's like kind of spicy, but not really, and it's just amazing. It's like a little dumpling. It's like a dumpling about this big around, and like that tall, depending on what it is. Sometimes they're a little thicker, but it's just like a dumpling. I think most of the time in the Philippines it's beef, but I'm not totally sure. I never really asked. But you get however many shomai, they give you the sauce, you put some sili in it to make it a little hotter. And then you dip the shomai in it, take a bite or the whole thing if you want, depending on how big it is. And then you just eat your rice with it, because you have to spread the rice out throughout the meal. But shomai is so good. I need to learn how to make the sauce here because, like I said, that's what I miss the most probably, as far as food goes. Siopao is really close to it, kind of. But I wasn't a very big fan of siopao because it's a lot more doughy, a lot less meat to it. Mango floats. You need to find mango floats because those things are delicious. Without giving too much information, you do need to be careful with the foods that you eat and the places that you go to, especially when you're new. Doesn't matter how long you're there, if you eat bad food, you're going to get sick. But they have a certain way that they cook eggplant there. And at the beginning of my mission, I thought it was all right. Put some vinegar on it and eat it. It tastes pretty good. But in my third area, there was one time where I ate it and it tasted a little funny whenever I started to eat it. But I figured, what the heck, I'm going to finish it anyways if I'm paying for it, which was a terrible mistake. Because after we ate, that was lunch, we were like on our way to another appointment, and before we ever even got there, I started feeling really bad. I started like crouching down, trying to catch my breath, see if it would go away, and it didn't. So I started to go back to the apartment because I felt horrible. And suffice it to say, I was sick for the next 5 or 6 hours and spent a decent amount of that time in the bathroom.
So the food is tons and tons and tons of rice. Their whole food structure is based around rice. If there's not rice with the food, you're doing it wrong. It's like you have the rice and then your sudan, which is whatever goes with the rice. There's no really English alternative for that. They have bigger food chains sometimes, like in Cebu City. They have a McDonald's, but it's not the same as McDonald's here. They have they have the burgers, but they also have like chicken with rice. They have spaghetti with rice. The spaghetti, I didn't like the spaghetti. The spaghetti is kind of sweet spaghetti. They put sweetened condensed milk in everything. They put it in the spaghetti. They put it in the pizza. They put it in whatever else you can think of. But I don't know. I got used to it after a while, but I could not eat it when I got there. They sell a lot of food on the street, like grilled food. You have to be careful though about where you go for that, because you could get like a parasite if you're not careful. But I actually really liked the chicken intestines. They had chicken intestines there on the grill. It's pretty good. But don't worry, that's not usually what they have to eat is like rice and chicken. Like grilled chicken or barbecued chicken. It's kind of like teriyaki. My favorite thing was called adobo. It's kind of like teriyaki chicken. It's really easy to make too, so if you want to make something really fast, it's really good. Oh, I remember on the island of Negros in Dumaguete City, which is like the promised land of where everyone wants to go. There was, me and my companions had like this competition to see if we could find the best pizza place. And we found my favorite pizza place in Dumaguete is called Neva's. It has the most normal tasting pizza. People like a lot of fish, a lot of chicken, a lot of pork, and rice. Rice with everything. The best place to eat is if it has unlimited rice. I can probably eat about 4 cups of rice in one sitting. by myself.
The one thing about the Philippines is it's rice. Morning, noon, and night. They eat rice 3 meals a day, and sometimes in between. In fact, if you talk to a number of Filipinos, they will say that they cannot survive without rice at least twice a day. They do not believe you can live without rice twice a day. I did prove them wrong. I had a companion that admitted that he did not believe it at first, but he admitted that he'd been living off of peanut butter sandwiches and hot dogs and other stuff for a period of time, and he was doing just fine. So he was reassuring the locals that you can live without rice. But it's their staple. It's rice and then something to put on top of it. Some of my favorites were fried chicken. They make really good fried chicken over there. Lechon manok, which is a rotisserie chicken that is stuffed with herbs and spices, and it's slow roasted, and that is really good as well. Machado, afretada, caldereta are some toppings that have vegetables and kind of a tomato sauce, and their name indicates the level of heat. Caldereta is spicy, machado and afretada are not as much, so it's kind of graduated that way. Those were really good. My first Christmas there in Bacolod City, they ordered some toppings from a nice hotel for us missionaries for the ward Christmas party, and I tasted one of them, and it tasted just like Dinty Moore beef stew. And I have to tell you, I didn't eat rice with that one. I was down in just the topping. It was so good. But yeah, the food's really not that bad overall. There are some weird things. Balut is kind of one of their delicacies. It's a duck egg that's been incubated for about 18 days. The chick is fully formed. They hard boil it, kills the chick. You crack it open, you drink the juice out, you open it up and eat the chick fully formed with beak, feathers, feet, the whole 9 yards. You just chomp it and swallow it, or in my case, just swallow it. And then there's the leftover of the yolk, which looks like a yellow brain with veins running through it. That I couldn't bring myself to eat. So that's about as weird as it gets, although the sea snail stew was the worst thing I ever tasted. That was really bad. But fish, there's a huge variety of fish, really good fish. I had some that were as thick as a steak. They were, really good. They know how to season and cook things. Vegetables are kind of rare. They use papaya, young papaya, instead of carrots. It gives it a carroty crunch and flavor, and they'll use the leaves off of trees. Not a lot of tomatoes, although you can find them. Not a lot of potatoes, although you can find them. I never saw beans of any sort. Kind of missed it. I'm a fan of Mexican food, so it was kind of hard to live without beans. And I was thinking beans and rice would be great. These people need to learn about beans and rice. But it was hard to find Mexican food. I did find one place that served tacos, and they were absolutely fantastic, and then they stopped serving them. But the food was really good. I enjoyed it. The roadside stands could be a little dicey. You might get sick from them, you might not. I tried to make sure that everything I got was very well cooked. I did eat a hamburger one time, or one bite of a hamburger that was only partially cooked, got into it and realized it wasn't fully cooked, so I didn't finish that one. My companion volunteered to finish it. I got sick, he didn't, so go figure on that one. They do have supermarkets in the bigger cities. Bacolod City had a store. It was more like a mall called Robinson's, and they had a nice grocery store with a imported food section. In fact, I found Norbest turkeys from Utah around Christmas time. I was able to get pastrami. You could get yogurt. Milk is really hard to come by. You don't find fresh milk anywhere. It's only the ultra high pasteurized boxed 20-year shelf life. They make a lot of bread. It's all sweet. Sugar is one of their main exports, so everything is highly sweetened. Their peanut butter, but you can get imported food of just about any variety from the States. It's kind of a big thing for them. It's a status symbol for those who have money. They eat American food, and that's a status symbol. So we enjoyed that as much as we could on our meager budgets. But a lot of local fare. There's what they call chungies in my mission. It was a small store that would just be in somebody's yard. They were scattered throughout each of the neighborhoods where they would sell. It was kind of like a convenience store. They'd sell small packages of shampoo and soap and canned goods. They have a lot of canned tuna toppings to put on the rice, Spam, things like that. Soda pop. Everybody had a refrigerator in their little store that they would sell soda. Sprite. Orange, their orange was called Royale. It's not Crush or anything. anything like that, even though it's made by the Coca-Cola company. It's different than what we have here in the States. You could get Coke, but you couldn't get root beer. There was no root beer except in the higher end restaurants. The only one I ever found had root beer was Pizza Hut. So we would order a mug or a jug of root beer and savor it. So, but yeah, you could get pretty much anything if you had the money.
Well, everyone makes a really big deal about balut, and now I feel really bad because I never tried it. It was like 2 weeks or a week before we went home, and I was like, I've got to try balut before I go home. Otherwise, I'm like not a Filipino RM. So if you want to know what balut is this like half-formed like egg fetus. I don't know what kind. I think it's like a chicken, but they just, when they're born, they like don't let them grow all the way, and then it's kind of like an aborted duck egg or chicken egg or whatever. So you'll have like the normal like egg white, and then you'll have this little chicken side with like a beak and hair, but you don't want it to be that old, I heard, or it's like super crunchy and gross. But so I bought it and I was gonna eat it because I love crazy foods, but I didn't get around to eating it. I don't know why. I was gonna eat it. I wanted to say I ate it and I never did. I just forgot about it in the fridge. And so I went home and I never tried balut. But they have other foods. They have, like, they pancit. Every single birthday party, they pancit and, like, what else? Pop. They have pancit and pop at every party, or otherwise it's not a party. And, like, they have to have rice at every meal, otherwise they're not full. And I think, like, if we would eat at members' houses, like, their typical thing for, like, all the rich people is, like, meat and rice. And sometimes they throw in, like, a banana or something. But I don't think it's the best for your health. But it was good. It tasted really good. I got to really love it. I love rice. And they have some really good fruits. Mangoes are the best. Like, a peaches to Utah, like a homegrown peach, what a mango is to the Philippines. It was so good. Like, one time we went to one of our fellowshippers' houses, and they were really poor, but they were out in the bukid, which is like the country, and they were just like knocking coconuts off of trees. So they brought these coconuts back, and they like got their machete and they like hacked them open and split it open. We had merienda, which is like a snack. They always feed you merienda. It was so good. They would eat, in the really poor areas, they ate falcons and dogs. I got bit by a dog once, and then when we went back to check and see if I had rabies, they had eaten it, and they didn't die, so I guess I didn't have rabies, but that's illegal. We had to teach people not to eat dogs because that's illegal. But that wasn't a super common thing.